Hello there and welcome back to the SteamPunk dock area, where today we have our biggest expansion yet with a brand new warehouse build. But first I need these little guys because I want some turtle eggs. I used most of the ones I had up for the Trident farm last episode, and today I am also going to be building a big gold farm on the roof of the Nether so that I can get myself some piglin trading to get things like gravel and blackstone from them. I'm going to take this seagrass, give these guys a good feeding and see what they can provide me.
A few moments later.
This turtle has been absolutely doing work. And yeah, hopefully I should get what I need soon. 3 absolute bumper crop. Don't you dare squish your own eggs. That would just be wrong. I need you to move so I can silk touch those. But the good thing is I can immediately then give these guys more seagrass. There's no cooldown on turtle breeding, so you can get a decent number of eggs pretty quickly. And this should, fingers crossed, give me everything that I need. Can you really call yourself a Minecraft YouTuber if you don't get totally distracted by something completely unnecessary? I think I may have developed a serious egg problem because I have absolutely no need for this many eggs or this many turtles. No clue what I can do with them. I can collect the scutes. I've already got enough for a helmet. So yeah, we shall see, but I've done it. It's done now. I think I'd better move to collecting some other resources for the gold farm before this gets any worse. Oh dear. In a much more sensible location. So the main thing that I'll need for this build, which is by Logical Geek Boy, link in the description as always, is going to be a load of magma blocks. Now I've used loads in the previous builds, but I need to get another 3,600, which is going to be a bit of a thing. Excuse me, I'm doing a bit to camera, do you mind? Anyway, so I'm going to pop this potion of fire resistance and start flying about looking for some of the different sections of magma that you've got around like that. That one's probably not the best, but I'll see what I can find. And I've got lots down here, for example, that I can then not kill myself too much, get myself out of this lava and get myself a lot of this magma. So I mined and I mined and I mined. And eventually, all of the resources are here. We've got loads and loads of magma blocks. We've got some building blocks and some ladders as well. And we've got glass to spawn-proof everything. Now, we are in the perfect location here as we come through the portal because we're in the Nether Wastes, which is where you want to be for the gold farm. And we're right next to a crimson forest. Now, this is where the piglins will spawn. So this can give us a great source of the piglins that we need for the bartering once we've built the bartering farm up the top here as well. I also have got a good deal of TNT and all of my redstone stuff in the ender chest so that I can blow a hole in the bedrock ceiling to come back down. Even though I'm going to build another portal up there, I don't want to get stuck on the nether roof. That's a really, really bad place to be. So now I am going to pillar up here, find a spot on the ceiling and see about getting on top of the nether. So I've dug out a space around our ladder at the top of the nether roof and found exactly what I'm looking for. So this is the bedrock and it's at 127 and there's a double spot here. So what I'm going to do is come up here and using the Logical Geek Boy method, if we throw an ender pearl on top of this, it should glitch us through the nether ceiling and we then need to jump twice. And here we are on top. So that has worked absolutely perfectly. What I'm going to do now is mark this with a torch. So that is where we're going to be able to break. But this gives us everything that we need now. And now we can start preparing and finding the right place to build the gold farm. So I popped myself a little hole in the bedrock ceiling, had a little detour to get myself some Frostwalker boots, and started building the 6 layers of the gold farm. The farm is now complete, and if I look down through this platform here, right the way down we can see an endless stream of the piglins pathfinding towards the turtle eggs and heading towards their inevitable doom. So yeah, this is going to be giving us loads and loads of resources. The only thing that I've changed from the original Logical Geek Boy design is that I've lowered the AFK platform a little bit. And that is because when I put the piglin trading area in, I also want that to be loaded at the same time. By doing that, it gives just a little bit larger area of the sphere of spawning. But the rates here are fantastic. Again, it's not going to impact the rates. But I'm going to leave this going for a little while and see how many resources we can get. Ah, satisfying. And having turned all of the gold into ingots, we've got almost a full chest. So that's going to give us a great start once I set the Piglin trading setup over here. And I also, completely unnecessary, but I thought it would look cool, destroyed this piece of bedrock. Blew up most of these chests in the meantime, but I think now that it's done with this crafting table here just in the bedrock, it looks really, really cool. The other cool thing that I did was come down here and I put glass and cleaned up the walls a little bit to make this now completely spawn proof, and added some sea lanterns into the ceiling just so it didn't look completely rubbish. But next I need to work out what resources I'm going to need for the Piglin trading setup, which is going to be over here, and I'm going to head back to the base. Yeah, that's a lot of turtles. I've been looking through all the chests here back at the village, and I've already looked at the ones in the steampunk area, and I've been looking for some ice, but I don't have any. So I'm going to need quite a lot of blue ice for the Piglin trading. I'm also going to be needing quite a bit of ice for the builds that's going to go into the steampunk area. And if you have any ideas what you think that build is going to be, make sure that you leave it down in the comments beneath. And whilst you're there, if you don't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future episodes. But now I am going to have to head out in search of some kind of an icy biome to get myself some supplies. So I've found some snow, but what I'm really looking for is a village or... absolutely this, an ice spikes biome, or some kind of a frozen ocean. So in ice spikes and in frozen ocean you get the blue ice, which means that you don't have to craft it. And hopefully if we fly around here somewhere, I can see actually some that's down there. So if we land here, this is perfect for what we need to mine away and give us the resources ready for the next builds. And look at that, over there we've got a lovely little family of polar bears. At some point I plan on getting some polar bears as pets, so I'll have to make sure I come back. Also over here, it looks like there could be some powdered snow, and I'm going to need that for the future as well, so I'll pick some of that up whilst I'm here. I managed to find this little area of the powdered snow, so as you can see, the texture changes slightly just as we go around here and on these bits. So I'm currently filling as many buckets as I can, just because it's going to be easier to get this here than trying to make a powdered snow farm in the future. Now that was a very, very successful adventure. I've got myself here 4 shulker boxes full of powdered snow buckets, a couple of bits and pieces from a village, and some more bits and pieces, a line here of ice, and then here's the main event, all of this blue ice with a whole bunch of packed ice as well. So this will definitely be more than enough for what I need and should keep me going for a long old time. But now it's time for me to collect the last few bits together, craft some stuff up, head to the Nether and start building this Piglin trading farm. Well, I kind of got carried away again and have been doing an awful lot of tree farming. There are a lot of hoppers and a lot of chests that I need for this build, and also the one that I'm going to be doing later. So I thought I'd get myself prepared, and yeah, kind of got a bit carried away, and I've created an entire chest of chests. The amount of wood that has gone into this is ridiculous. This is basically a double chest of logs that's in here, and on top of that we've got all of these hoppers which have got a huge amount of iron. Thank goodness we've got the iron farm chugging away all the time here in the background, and obviously all of these chests as well. So this is probably far more chests than I will need, but at least now I have a very good reserve of chests, and then I've got all the other components and things ready to go. So now it's back to the nether roof and start building. The final stage is to load the system up with piglins. All 24 piglins are now in, and that took a long time to collect them all, but they're all name tagged, they're all in there, and they're all chucking away their resources as they get the gold. And this is being pushed along here by the slime blocks along this lovely blue ice that we picked up, and then going into the different filters. So as you can see, you look along the edge and different things drop off as they go. So I'm really pleased with how this is going. I've put in the gold that we got earlier. I am about to go AFK overnight to get a whole bunch more gold to run through this in the morning. But yeah, so far this seems to be working beautifully. I AFK'd overnight and I popped back up for another AFK session because I've already been down to check out the resources. Now, I made a bit of a blunder earlier when I was doing things and setting stuff up because I pre-stacked this with some nuggets thinking, oh, that'll be great. The problem with that is pre-stacking these, I think these two, with nuggets meant that all the rotten flesh backed up. So I did lose some of the gold nuggets that we got. However, I cleared out all of the rotten flesh and yeah, we've got loads and loads of nuggets. This is from the new AFK session. I think I'm just going to leave it to fill up on its own in the future. But yeah, so many gold nuggets that I'm now going to turn into some ingots and get them across to my nice piglin trading because I want to get some of these resources, particularly the blackstone stuff, which is these first 4 hoppers. So yeah, really pleased with this. We'll probably want to at some point add some extra storage. So these hoppers up the top do have a bit of a bottleneck, and I think some of the stuff is just collecting up here and despawning. But what I will probably do is either add some chests on the side to filter out the stuff coming out on these back ones so it doesn't need to go through so many hoppers to get down, or just add another line of chests on the back side. But I think probably put them on the sides, because what I'm thinking, now that I've got these here, now that I've got my hole in the bedrock ceiling and I've got my nether portal, that this would make quite a nice area for a nether hub. So yeah, I think that this is probably something that's going to be a project for another day. But now I need to turn all of these nuggets into ingots and start the trading process. All that gold has now been traded, and let's head down to see what we've got coming through in the sorting system. So we have got an absolute ton of blackstone, which is the main thing that I built this for. I'm going to need a fair bit of this going forward. Then we've got equally loads and loads of gravel. Then going through spectral arrows, can't see any real need for those. Quartz is definitely, this is going to save a lot of mining. Quite a lot of my builds in the past have used quartz, and people say, how can I get lots of quartz? Well, here's one of the ways, and trading is the other one, but getting this quartz, brilliant. And then some more in there. Coming through iron nuggets, no need for those at all. Soul sand definitely could be useful. Then we've got nether bricks. This is another block that I use a lot of. And moving through, ender pearls is always good to have a stock. And then spring, crying obsidian, fire charges, again, no real use for those. And this one here, getting a renewable source of obsidian. If you think how long it would take for you to mine what? Basically 9 full stacks of obsidian is just crazy. And then it just goes into some of the other stuff, leather, which we've already got. And then, yeah, potions of fire resistance, water bottles. So I haven't actually got soul speed. So if I pick out a couple of these soul speed 3 books just to take back to the base, I can put some of those on and can go nice and quick and make myself some speedy transportation methods. So I just came through my nether portal and we seem to have had a bit of a zombified piglin invasion. I don't quite know what all of these guys are doing here. One mistake that I did make before was I attacked one, and in chasing me, he went back through the nether portal, which actually aggroed all of the ones in the nether. So what I'm going to do is make sure I find a nice space away from my nether portal and then just aggro these guys from a pillar. Obviously, these guys, yeah, they can't deal with being too far away, and I've got my trusty bow. So yeah, now to bring these guys in and start getting rid of them, because I don't know why there's so many here, but there are.
A few moments later.
So I dealt with my piglin infestation, and it also then dawned on me what was happening. So when I'm in the nether loading my gold farm from my AFK platform, I'm also loading the nether portal that's on the top of the nether roof. And of course, zombified piglins can spawn in portal frames, which is the mechanic used for a lot of gold farms. So actually, yeah, unless I break my portal, then I'm just going to need to deal with an infestation every time I get back, but I suppose that's all right. I now have a big grind. As you can see by the beacon that I've set up here with haste 2, I've got a significant amount of flattening and digging to do. So we have over here the build, and it just stops there. We also have our canal, and this canal needs to be extended eventually right the way through to the other side. So there's a lot of land here, and I want to bring this canal out to this point. Now, I'm not going to do it all today, but this has to start somewhere. So this first section I'm going to start digging out, and also giving us space for the build. So yeah, there is going to be an awful lot of digging going on, and some more terracotta. I've got so much terracotta, I really don't know what to do with it. I might just bin this, but we will see. But now, anyway, digging begins. With all of this area now cleared and the canal ready to be built out, I've got all of the blocks prepared, so I'll get building that in a second. But as you'll notice from this space, it is the biggest build that we've got to date. So really looking forward to getting this done. But first of all, let's get this area and the start of the road that's going to go through the rest of our steampunk area. Lazy sheep. And the canal side is now done, and I'm really pleased with how this has turned out. This is going to be the road pattern that's going to go through the entire of the steampunk area as it winds through that way, with various spurs coming off, including in the future. This section here is going to be a bridge, so I'm going to be coming across here with a bridge to link these two sections, because having one here a way across is good, but there's going to have to be bridges dotted along the length so that people can get back and forth between the two sides of the town. And really pleased with how this has turned out. I do need to head now back over to the chest monster and start crafting up all of the items that I'm going to need for this, the next build, which is going to be quite big and quite time consuming, but it's definitely going to be worth it. Once everything was crafted, I had to get building, and that means time-lapse time. And now we're done, and I am so pleased with how this has turned out. So here I've gone for more of the gears than some of the pipes that we've got, and obviously as well we've got lots of heavy duty belts that are powering down into the ground, and also again not very environmentally conscious in the steampunk world. So we've got some output, shall we say, from the factory itself down here. We've made this look like a very lived in area, added in some more things around here, everything from barrels through to composters, and I've moved the vehicle that was just in here. It was kind of crowding the entrance, and now it's got a road. It's got the opportunity to actually start moving along. And then we've got some of these really funky lamps again, and down here on the dock we've just got a little crane. So we've got the counterweight here with this, which is just on a piece of string here, but shh, don't tell anyone. And we've got, again, a little lever that can pick up things from the dockside by the canal. So really like how this has turned out. Around the side, we can see the slime and the honey. But now let's have a look at the main event, and that is what is inside this. And some of you may have already guessed, this is a sorting system. And it's not just a sorting system, but it's a pretty big sorting system. So we've got all of the chests being fed through from water streams here. Again, loads of detail, loads of steampunk machines. I absolutely love the animated look of the stone cutter here. We've got some chests here which are currently just full of all of the stuff that I've taken from the chests, the bits that were left over. But we've got all of this layer, and then I'll come back to that in a bit. Up here, got another big machine here, which I'll go into in a second. And we've got a double layer of these going right the way along. And the same if we come right the way around here. So there's 3 stories in this. Same on the top level just here. So we've got loads and loads of storage space. I've put the filters in, i.e. the blank blocks, but I've not actually put what I want to filter through, because that is going to be a huge job in itself, and I think that's going to be one between episodes, to be honest. So we have a couple of things going on here as well. Here we have the chest input, which as soon as you put anything in, will automatically spit this up into the water stream. We've also just got a I didn't build an actual shulker unloader here, but I've got a low techie solution where you put a shulker box here. It drains through into the chest, which allows it to actually then go into the system, so you can leave a shulker box there as well as the items here. But the main thing with a sorting system is whilst it's going, there is not much else that you can do. You need to stay in the area and keep it loaded. So using this awesome Ilmango design, if we head up here, what I've got is a little cobblestone generator. So if we come around here and turn this on, it will blast us a little bit because that's just the nature of it. And it creates some cobblestone inside. And if we head down just through here, we can see that will then start to feed into some of these chests. And yeah, there's lots and lots of storage space here. Don't want to stand too close to this whilst it's going, but none of the blocks break, and it just gives us a nice supply of cobblestone whilst the sorting system is actually running. But there's not just that, there is more as well as I come down here. What I've also got here is a smooth stone generator, so we can just hit some of this smooth stone, and this will be picked up by the hoppers with some lava above and create us a nice little endless supply of smooth stone, which can also be going whilst our sorting system's running. But it doesn't end there. We've got also just a low-tech basalt generator, which has also got some hopper minecarts underneath that pick up some of this. This one definitely isn't lossless, and I probably will need to relook at this entire machine at some point and just make it better. So any ideas, any good designs that are quite small in footprint, hey, if you can let me know in the comments, that'd be most appreciated. But yeah, all of that then feeds down into here. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave a comment to help the video out. And I'll see you next time on Adie Craft.